All right, so I'm going to make a response video here to Jennifer Moleski on the 21, or I guess it's called 22 convention now. Anthony Dream Johnson renamed it for some reason. I guess it's because it's the female version of it or something. I vaguely remember him having some commercial back maybe even a year ago, where he was creating something called the 22 convention so that women can speak. And so he's got Jennifer Moleski on here. Now, I've never really liked Jennifer Moleski in the sense that I've always felt like she was a chameleon. I think all these women are chameleons. The only ones who are not chameleons, in my opinion, in my book, are Diana Davidson and Karen Strawn. And then also, I always forget her name. She did the Red Pill. She did the Red Pill movie. What's her name? Anyway, can't remember her name right now, but it's a pretty easy name to remember, actually, but I just can't remember it. But she did the Red Pill movie. That was a great movie. She did a good job in that. But Diana Davidson, the woman who did the Red Pill movie, and then Karen Strawn, and you can find Diana Davidson and Karen Strawn on Facebook, or excuse me, YouTube, and they make great videos. They have in the past. And I genuinely sense those women care about men. I genuinely sense they really get what we go through. But most do not. Most do not get what men go through or even care what men go through. I will mention Roma Army, R-O-M-A Army. My problem with her is that sometimes she's like spot on. Sometimes she just gets it. And then other times she's sporadic. She's kind of sporadic and inconsistent. Other times she'll have some weird... Anyway, you probably know what I'm talking about if you follow Roma Army. But she's okay. Like she'll sometimes she gets it. But my issue with Jennifer Moleski, and I watched the full thing about for the first half hour. She's funny, she's engaging, and then I sort of browsed through the rest of the hour of her video, and she has a specific motivation for what she's doing. And my opinion is that what she's doing, the motivation for what she's doing, is because she wants men to be traditional and she wants men to be men again. But see, here's the problem, and I've said this, I've made a couple other videos about this. You gotta be careful of tradcon women. You got to be careful of women who parade themselves around as traditional women and they're anti-feminist. You got to be careful because a lot of them are chameleons. The real reason why they want men to be traditional is because the man's traditional behavior benefits them. Okay, him being a good provider, him being a moral Christian man or whatever, benefits the woman. And I believe that this is Jennifer Moleski's motivation. See, she leaves out a whole lot of stuff. She doesn't go into female nature. She doesn't go into the red pill about female nature. What motivates women? Hypergamy, monkey branching, cheating, securing the best male genes for her offspring, only seeking a guy with resources. She doesn't talk about any of that, right? So she's not talking about female nature, she's talking about society. Now, I'm a little torn on this because on the one hand, it's like, okay, yes, we need women like this out there talking against feminism, right? We need women out there who are anti-feminist because feminism is just a supremacist cult. Feminism is simply just, it's just a hate group, really. That's all feminism is. And it's very bad for men. Feminism, arguably, in my opinion, is probably the second worst thing to happen to the world since the invention of war. Feminism is horrible. I mean, it just destroys the family unit. Okay, it demonizes men, attacks men, uplifts women to the point where they're deities, and it lies to the world that women are oppressed when they're really the most privileged they've ever been. Or else you wouldn't even be able to complain about men if you were actually oppressed, which totally sinks the feminism ship in and of itself in one fell swoop. There's no such thing as feminism in a genuinely oppressive patriarchal culture. There's no feminists in Iraq. There's no feminists in the Middle East. Sorry, doesn't exist. They kill them. They throw them in jail. You cannot protest against men in the Middle East. Nope. So the whole concept that men are oppressive and patriarchal is pure nonsense. Okay, you are privileged in the West, extremely privileged, and really all it is they're using feminism to reap the benefits of social power, sexual power, relationship power, financial power, political power. That's all feminism is, and it's a tool used by people who are against American unity, who are against American nationalism, who are against American strength and strong male leadership, strong families in America. Right? Strong male leadership is not oppression. Okay, and so again, I agree with Jennifer Moleski here in all that she's saying. You can go listen to this. And this was just uploaded on 21 Studios YouTube channel. This is called the 22 Convention Make Women Great Again. Right? I agree with what she's saying insofar as feminism, and she's talking about she's anti-promiscuity, she's anti, modern, the way these modern women are. But you gotta understand, and again, I've been to her channel a lot. I've listened to her a lot of her videos. I've never got the sense that she wasn't in it for herself. A lot of women support men for themselves. A lot of women support masculinity and men, traditional men, for the benefits that it brings them, because a lot of women really don't want to work. A lot of women don't want to go out and be career women. And a lot of times what happens is when women don't want to do that, or they're unable to do that, excuse me, a lot of times they end up using men. A lot of times they end up getting in relationships for the resources and the benefits that the guy has, or they go start an OnlyFans, or they become cam girls, or that's so. How do you think these girls are getting their money? Like, they're not getting their money working at Gap, right? They're not getting their money working at Abercrombie and Fitch. Like, they are getting their money on cam sites. They're getting their money on Pornhub. They're getting their money on the sugar daddy websites, or if they don't want to be promiscuous, if they're less sexual, they will go out and they will find a traditional man to get into a long-term relationship with and take care of them. This is female nature. So Jennifer Moleski leaves all that out, right? So she's piecing together parts of the puzzle, but she's not fully red pilled. I just want to make that clear. That's just an observation that I've always had about her. I think, to a good extent, she's a chameleon, although, again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if she's talking bad about feminism, I support it insofar as feminism is just all bad. There's nothing good about modern feminism. And I'm fine with women tearing it down and talking bad about it. So I'm not just going to sit here and say Jennifer Moleski is just an absolute, she's just absolutely bad for the manosphere or anything like that. But again, you got to listen to what they're leaving out. Listen to what she omits. Listen to what she doesn't talk about. Pay attention to that. And then you'll realize that, well, she only goes so far. She likes men to be traditional. She likes men as long as they benefit her, but she doesn't really care about men in general. She doesn't really care about, what we go through, things that we're up against, how we feel oppressed by women, how we feel slighted by women. Women don't care about that because women are solipsistic, right? There's always exceptions, right? And in this case, it's very rare exceptions. I mentioned Diana Davidson. I mentioned Karen Strawn. So there was one comment here that I really... Oh, shit, I just lost it. Oh, there it goes. There was one comment on this that I really did vibe with. This guy says, here's the bitter pill. You guys still don't understand there is nothing such a feminine thing by nature. That sentence does not make sense, but Anyway, he says, it is all about how a woman is educated and inspired by the environment. Okay, nature versus nurture, some truth to that. The narration, make women feminine again, is kind of a beta vibe. You don't need her femininity. I have had women who were not feminine, but they were freaky in bed. I need how good she is in bed. I don't give a damn about her femininity. That is utterly used to create illusions. That's true. Her femininity is an illusion, because women can turn on their femininity and turn off their femininity when they want something, right? Women mostly play the feminine game to lure a man into their trap. 100% agree with that. Women mostly play the feminine game to lure a man into their trap. Very, very true. He makes a good point. So he's saying that he's been in bed with women who had masculine vibes, but they were very freaky, or she didn't have a these women weren't feminine, but they were, freaky in bed. And I get what he's saying. He's saying she can be one way, and then she can also pretend to be another way, which is what I think is the truth about Jennifer Moleski. Is she pretends to be feminine. Women are manipulative by nature. Women are clever and manipulative and subtle by nature. I've said this on my channel since day one. Women get what they want through manipulation, and they'll use femininity. They'll use I'll be loyal to you and feminine in a relationship. I'll be the submissive wife in the relationship. They'll use that to get what they want. And what do they want to do? They want to lock down a guy with good resources and steady dependability for long term. This is the female strategy, right? And in today's day and age, it's the real female strategy is to go out and sleep with as many men as they want to or can, and chase the alpha guys, maybe get that alpha seed, and then fall back on the beta, the beta need, fall back on the beta bucks. And men need to stop dating single mothers. You need to stop settling for some used goods whore, right? Some used goods woman who you get as a second hand, right? Hand me down from all these other guys, and she's got a kid from another guy. There's nothing more emasculating and beta than raising another man's kids. Okay, and so you don't fall into that trap. Now, at least I appreciate the fact that Jennifer Moleski is talking against promiscuity. I appreciate that, right? But again, you got to think about the motivations. Now, is quality relationships where traditional men and traditional women, if there is such a thing as a traditional woman anymore, is that the best for society? Absolutely. But again, what is female nature? It's trying to lock that strategy, trying to lock down that guy with the highest resources, and men need to stop being used. You got to understand that if you don't have that money, if you don't have that steady resources, you will not get a wife. She will not be interested in you. Most women will, so the underlying truth there is most women do not really care about men. They don't really love us unless we are providing, unless we have resources. That means men are utility. Men are a means to an end, right? And what is she using to capture these men? She's using sexuality, right? She may not, and she's using femininity. And I think, in my opinion, this woman, Jennifer Moleski, is just, she's just adapting. She's evolving into a chameleon, right? She's, in a way, she's taking those traditional roles of femininity and using them to, this is what I have to offer. I'm this feminine woman, and I will be loyal to you, and I will, right? But what are you offering, right? You need to be that traditional masculine man who has resources. Again, these women are not dating broke men. These women are not dating men who don't have resources, who don't have money, you see? And this guy, I like that comment, and this guy nailed it in his response to his comment. So this guy says, nobody said you need a woman's femininity. And then this guy here says, this is awesome right here. This guy says, research says otherwise. They are happiest when they are nurturing and supportive. I think that's true, but let's read on. He says, they are happiest when they are nurturing and supportive. Femininity is the natural expression of those instincts. Feminism encourages the opposite. That's true. I agree with that, but listen to this response. He nails it. He says, your statement isn't related to femininity at all. It is related to the thing that everything, probably to the idea that everything is perfect when a man is a great provider. Bingo. Everything is perfect when the man is a great provider. It all hinges on the man's providership. And this is why someone like Jennifer Moleski wants to attack femininity and wants to make women traditional again, because she wants that providership. You see? So it's always solipsism. It's always, the motivation is always out of something for themselves. She doesn't really care about men. She doesn't really care about the plight of her men. Go to her channel. She doesn't have any videos where she's talking about what we talk about, where she's talking about what we go through in the dating, what we talk about female nature. She doesn't have any videos talking about hypergamy because she's okay with that, right? She might talk bad about, against the current culture, which is promiscuous and feminism and all that. That's all she has. She doesn't have anything talking about, real female nature, right? And this is what this guy's saying, as long as the man is the provider. He says, therefore, most modern women will still seek for a traditional husband because they are happy when a man undertakes the hardest responsibilities in marriage. There you go. Bingo. Bingo. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner, right? He says, and a friendly advice, don't trust research so much. They can be made up to mold your mindset in an inaccurate way. The system is all about to indoctrinate you. Instincts and femininity game are totally different things. Instincts and femininity game are totally different things. Yeah, but the thing is that women use femininity to, I agree. I get what he's saying. Instinctually, she wants that masculine alpha guy, and she'll use the femininity to, get the guy with the resources, whereas in her instincts, she wants to sleep with that masculine guy, but that masculine guy might not be what she wants for her the rest of her life because of this reason or that reason, or he doesn't make enough money, or he's not this or that, right? This guy, even though his English isn't great, I could tell he's foreign because the way the way he's writing, but he nails it. He understands that there's a difference between a woman putting on a facade of femininity because she wants that traditional male with the the resources and taking on all the hard work in the relationship, and then her base instincts which says, I want to go fuck that hot guy. I want to go fuck that guy with muscles and that masculine man. This guy gets it. So then I reply and I said, bingo. You nailed it with your reply comment in this thread. Women are only feminine when they want a masculine man to provide her with resources for raising kids. Otherwise, they don't need men, care about men, or love men, and they certainly never really care about our issues unless it involves them indirectly or directly, really. Men are a means to an end for them. That's Jennifer Moleski's underlying motivation for this speech. There you go. That's my opinion. I've watched her videos. I listened to most of this speech. All she's talking about are things that really threaten and jeopardize her concept of what she wants in marriage, her concept of what she wants in a relationship. She doesn't really care about men. She cares about women ultimately, and she cares about men indirectly insofar as she wants men to continue to be masculine and continue to be providers and be traditional men, because that benefits women, you see. So it benefits her indirectly. She's actually a very selfish person, right? So she's not really, okay, she's talking to women here, which is good, and she's talking against feminism and against promiscuity, right, which is good, but again, it's still not really addressing real female nature, which is that you can really, be a traditional man and find a traditional woman, or find a woman who likes you because you're a traditional man, and still be totally oblivious to the fact that she's using you. Still be totally oblivious. I've seen guys, there's a guy that I know right now who's in this relationship with this woman, and I could see it from a mile away. She likes him because he's performing. She loves him because he's performing. He's a good guy. He's a good father. He's regular. He's got his regular job. He does all the right things, and he doesn't see it. He thinks he's supposed to do that because that's just his duty, but he doesn't see that, hey, you stop doing those things, your wife ain't going to love you no more. You stop doing those things, she might even leave you. You stop being the good provider. You stop being the good father. You stop being the steady, docile, predictable guy that never cheats on her, always kind to her, always not like... I kind of feel sorry for this guy in a way, because it's like he's just not real. It's like he's always performing. Like he's doing all the right things. Everything is right. Like everything is perfectly right. Like really good. Like he's doing really good. He's really good at all the outward things, right? He's on time everywhere he goes. He's doing this, he's doing that, but he just doesn't see that it's a performance. He doesn't see that he's a dancing monkey in a circus and he's just doing all the things correct, right? So that's how you know whether somebody really loves you or not. Whether, how are they going to react when you're not doing everything perfect? How are they going to react when you're not doing everything they like, right? Life is really easy when everything's going great. Right? You love life. Oh, life is amazing. I love my guy. I love this. I love that. My life is so good because everything is going smooth. The real test of your character and the real test of love itself is when things aren't going smooth, is when things are all messed up. Everything's messed up. This is messed up. That's messed up. He's not treating you right. He's not doing this. He doesn't have money. There's all kinds of problems. Are you going to stick with him through that? Right? And then Jennifer Moleski doesn't mention that at all. But so really, it's just topical. It's shallow. She doesn't really care about men. Now, again, I know that she's talking to women here. I understand that, and that's good. What she's saying is good. Like, yeah, we need to be anti-feminist. That's good. Yeah, we need to be anti-promiscuity. We need to fight this leftist culture, which is all about degeneracy, immorality, and pumping those concepts, into kids. And she has some great points where she's talking about how they're trying to indoctrinate kids and things like that, and teach young women to be feminists, teaching them from a young age in school to have the concept and think that domestic violence is mostly men and actually I think she even says that herself. She doesn't even know the truth, is that domestic violence is actually almost 50-50. Women are domestically violent just as much as men. It just doesn't get reported, and if it does get reported, it doesn't go to trial or court. It's all kinds of messed up. There's all kinds of statistics that are not true that feminism is pumping, and even she didn't catch it. Even she says that most men are committing most domestic violence, right? And she's she doesn't understand that that's not true. Okay, so she's promoting something that's a false narrative, right? Whether she even realized it or she hasn't done the proper type of research. Also, she does, well, I will say she does make a good point when it comes to, the kids being indoctrinated that men are, when men sexually harass a woman, it's not the same thing as when, how society reacts to when a woman does it is a double standard. So she did get that right. I appreciate that. And so she's saying some good things here. But again, does she really care about men? Does she really care about men? Does she really care about what we go through? Does she really care about how women treat us, right? Or is she only pumping up the things that she believes will benefit her in her life and her marriage and her relationships? And it's good for women, right? It's good for women for a man to be traditional. It's good for women for a man to be a breadwinner. And so I appreciate that insofar as that at least they're appreciating us in a way, right? But again, are they appreciating you for who you really are? Or are they appreciating you for what you bring to the table? They're really appreciating you for what you bring to the table. This is the argument that I make on my channel, is that most relationships are conditional. Most relationships are really just kind of conditional relationships where the man provides and the woman is kind of, supportive to his providership. And this is why women like that. Women will be supportive. Yeah, he's taking the bulk of all the responsibility. He's paying all the bills. Women will be supportive. A lot of women like that. I don't want to go out and work. That's hell. I don't want to do what a man does. There's a lot of women who are smart like that. Are they lazy? I don't know. You could make that argument, but it's a smart thing to let the man to step aside and say, hey, you shoulder all the responsibilities. You pay the bills. You take the brunt of the responsibility. I'll just stay at home and raise kids, right? That's actually easier, which is where a lot of feminists got it wrong, was they tried to act like that was oppression. There's a lot of women out there who are like, nah, fuck that. I'll just stay at home. I'll just stay at home and raise my kids, and he can go take on the responsibility, take on all that stress of having to perform. Again, the burden of performance is on men. All these relationships out here, they're conditional on the men performing. He's got to pay the bills, and you can get a woman if you do that. This is what women say when I just want a good man, I just want a real man. What are they really saying? Translation, they're saying, I want a man who's paying bills. I want a man who's going to be loyal to me and respects me, but I want him to shoulder all the responsibility. And I want him to love me and put me on a pedestal and all these things. And it's like, yeah, you can get that if you're a guy. But again, you have the burden of performance. All that is on your shoulders. And if you fall, she'll be gone. She ain't going to stick around. If you fall, she's not going to be there to support you. She's only supporting you as long as you're successful. Remember that. A woman is only supporting you as long as you're successful. And her type of support, really, it's just, she's just there. She's like a cheerleader, you know, she's cheering you on. As long as you're successful, women will be there. This is why women like success. This is why every time a guy's successful, women come a-calling. They come crawling out of the woodwork, because women are attracted to success. Why? Because success is what ensures the human race to go on. Success is what, you know, ensures that your kids are going to grow up safe and all this bullshit, right? But again, what if you're not successful, right? What if you're not successful? What if you don't make it? What if you're not, you know, a good breadwinner? What if you don't have the resources? What if you are not paying the bills? What if you can't afford a house, right? Then you got no woman. She ain't around. And so that's how you know what real female nature is. That's how you know that probably 98% of women out there are not going to stick around if you don't have those resources. And that's the cold, bitter, hard, red pill truth, right? Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. Appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.